Hello, America. Before the 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 importance of the separation of church and state as value is understanding why the juxtaposition of church and state federally is value, because each identity was forced to collusion since before our founders' births to what couldn't do anything but invest themselves to the justifications of fact treatment nature, of value treatment nature, blaming others and other things and selves for the real causes of 99.9% of the crimes, of torture, of fake care, simultaneously, of hurt, all that juxtaposed with what knew that it was going to force that feeder on every modern nation in, in other words, as a means to no matter who was going to be their founders, they wouldn't have free speech, and that their identities would be and were and are stolen. For example, to maintain Marbury versus Madison not only obfuscated each of the laws originally still. We have correlation nature not let demonstrated the recorded crime method that had the branches in collusion also with lawyers, criminally foreign influenced. Uses of, even after the Declaration of Independence in the Constitution was on paper instituted, states and areas were still in collusion with the organized crime method that had already entrenched them, valuing positions in relationship to a value nature system that was criminally foreign influenced, in relationship to educational treatments that were criminally foreign influenced. Then to have evidence perception predators defending sensibilities, intersciences as victim predators, as what needs to defend that offensively against correlation nature simultaneously inherent active and progressive means, and then further means by the value of what that is simultaneously, which is a relationship to what the five pillars are about, which is a relationship to what the Trinity is about, which is a relationship to what juxtaposed energy's walls, inherent seas high, is about. So, simultaneously, distinctly, and non distinctly, we are not supposed to have church and state juxtaposed, but we do. Because church is still, like individuals, forced to a compromised, abridged fact treatment nature, cover up, breaching screen, fake patriotism nature, where it counts. We have real people that sacrifice real time and value of their nature, simultaneously the value of their body, and they don't know how to defend that as told to, as forced to, and with this theater upon everyone, blaming the real causes of everything on other, because it is juxtaposed with other. They made everyone to a tactical ulterior from actual value nature system roles to keep fact treatment nature, sensibility nature roles, every difference used as a weapon, as a breaching screen, as pseudo-patriotism nature, where it counts, as fact treatment nature. Ancients revealed that we are fact treatment nature as what causes, as what we have to be talking about ourselves as, which is true always. Not, so we have opinions offensively into sciences and defenses of themselves and of defenses of sensibilities that are criminally foreign influenced and juxtaposed with physical delusions. And right where we still have original uncharged psychology criminally foreign influenced with this roles originally and still interbranch and intersciences with what knew that it was going to keep states and areas, all identities, even the identities of religions trapped, run by sensibility natures already with entrenched a whole bunch of hundreds of nations sharing policing, suit and tie roots, counters to it, all through criminally foreign influenced science systems before modern religions, greatly about this. Because that the value of the campus Marcius and of the campus Marcius, spelled with a C and a T, is simultaneous, as a simultaneous nature. This is the value of yin yang, left to right, feminine, is simultaneously value alpha omega, left to right, masculine. Because there is the value of a semi-nature that comes with our complete nature that is even beyond itself. So in how everything is distinctly and non-distinctly simultaneously in demonstration of this, at once, simultaneously, which is the phenomenon that makes a complete nature capable of coming through and being more and more of a nature it can't be any other way, or it forces it from here. Leith of Hades. This is regarding Earth's immediate space nature value in a system that has three natures of volume that are interacting with its perfect value progression. This that generated matter to bond and demonstrates this scientifically because there is an order to the value of the bond to matter. This is why even living and non-living, all bodies of value are even there is invisible but still discernible bodies of value, which is with the integrity that was revealed, that revealed with itself nature itself revealed the ancient republic for which we stand, that was revealed by a species valuing itself at once. Before internation sciences were criminally re-engineered, they understood why and how we are a nature of volume. That is a trinity. And that is a trinity with one identity that is filling it. And with one identity of relationship to itself that is discernible with science. The science of pantheism, not about many nations. That was instituted to keep interscience evidence reception roles and justifications, conviction natures, fake positive natures back then, consciously now. This criminally re-engineered the value of what was revealed, that they knew defenses of that, identities associated with the defenses of that would need to hide lie progressions tied to each database relationship, tied to each campus relationship, tied to the valuing of each age of correlation nature, child abused, while simultaneously each age of fact treatment nature abused, simultaneously. This is critical to get it from the base. But this had states and areas, branches, all identities including of religions, criminally foreign influenced, tools, breaching screens and weapons with sensibilities as criminal insidiousness natures, mass criminal insidiousness nature. Criminal insidiousness nature, so we'll examine all that is recorded that is not being, that is offensively pretended not realized through criminal foreign influences and through physical delusions left manifest because there was much left uncharged. So we have lie progressions themselves and lie progression natures in relationship to fact treatment natures in the background, to fact treatments overall, to grouped in individual finite treatments, sequence treatments, wire crime methods, everything like that, used to keep all roles with titles originally instilled to the furtherance of overt criminal enterprises, unrealized ones, in all these nations exploiting on-off job sites, intercampuses, roles acts, needs, and natures needing to hide the same finite active body of value discernment. In other words, see simultaneous natures, value discernment, progression's value of discernment, and simultaneously. And that's also in the discernment of what is going to cause positive or negative value nature progressions. That is also in the discernment of what is a quality of diffusion as our soul, as an increasing nature of volume, as a semi-nature, each complete nature of identity, each complete identity of value simultaneously is a semi-nature relationship to the value that was a perfect value progression before, and then while being that it bonded to diffuse through to make in self-generation that which created matter, not a Big Bang. We have sensibilities that are offensive evidence fabrication natures and delusions wrought, specifically because we have experts on each thing's needed that were left with a whole bunch of nations that don't like each other on paper with the same crime methods, with the same physical delusions, criminally foreign influence, fact-cheating nature here or there of our founders, which were fact-cheating nature slaves. To extents, also with what they effectively used and use color then for now, to prevent demonstration of the organized crime, not just against our founders and everyone hurt even worse by it. How they stole their identities, how this was a database tied organized crime method, how this is a pseudo positive cultivation machine forced all roles as a criminal insidiousness propagation machine that they knew would cause more than 99.9% of the crimes, and they knew that they could keep each age of fact-cheating nature, each individual group together progressively and sequentially. Collusion with live progression cover-up nature's needs and roles and valued where it counts, with and as and how we are fact-cheating nature. So we have criminally foreign influence zoning laws in Russia and in America. Every nation, a facade of business, a means to afford things that was never free. We have narratives with what is capitalism and what is communism in collusion, what is socialism in collusion with criminally foreign influence sciences that were in our effectively recorded, maintained breaching tools per an organized crime method that is not sourced by one nation specifically as one to keep all needing to react to a nature of criminal insidiousness that not one person was allowed capable of is allowed capable of, because we have sciences offensively, simultaneously, distinctly, and grouped and together. Victim predators, offensive evidence perceptions, categorically and sequentially, and as needs to highlight progressions, right, regarding the context and regarding the individuals and regarding the sequence of individuals that know each other and don't, because this is an identity theft crime method. They use color. Identity theft against everyone, against every standing spot. So it's not that the church is and other natures of religions with the simultaneous nature value. It's not that they don't have the integrity, because no one had the integrity. It's how no one had the integrity, and what is using that. States are still in collusion with physical delusions juxtaposed with criminal foreign influences, with intercultural groups, with triage places. I know, there's a Leahy family recorded and confessed involved with trade center crimes with various natures of agencies. Pretend they had conversations with me, forged the doctor Shamsi Ali's name and other doctors, and or they faked that too. But in other words, they would probably tell you too, because they never were even in my presence. Three doctors were walking towards me, and then they walked away. The first three times they forced me into a triage because I was trying to tell on recorded sex crime acts and drug crime acts with cliques that were on off campuses tied to an on campus untimely death that was used for crime acts from with in crime roles with interbranch police, with military police, foreign and domestic. Note with Kuwait, involved with various deans from various colleges. Two I didn't even go to. A Dr. Judd is from Central, where I graduated from, involved criminally with his family members, who I don't know. They were direct saying they are also using confessions through time, ahead of time, to people that won't understand it, so one will be able to tell it. And after, like when I was in sixth grade, I mentioned two times after a normal interaction with Debbie Gold, who was a young Jewish girl with a brother, and I don't know if other brothers or sisters, whatever, associated with a former mayor, Gold. Because he's now recorded and confessed involved with wire crime methods and mail crime methods, systemic in relationship to crime acts and crime methods, systemic originally and still with courts and with prisons, and with interbranch forging names, switching names, and with trade center crime acts roles, and with crime method roles of pretending people have delusions as means to pretend they had conversations with them. And they're directing online criminal interbranch recorded sex crime acts hidden with crime acts and cases as the interbranch police and as the military police involved criminally. Their motivations for the trade center crime acts were the same interstate people. These are people who were facilitated the crimes with Washington, associated with the Walters family and with a wedding he had, recorded and confessed involved with the courts that are criminally involved, with a proven sequence shift click tied to more crimes the night before in the context, more crime roles in the context of the Trade Center attack, Ninth Circuit, tied to a proven post-dated to appear late before appearing panel of judges in the Ninth Circuit Trade Center attack context. No two shut down by that day, obviously. That proven after the Trade Center attack, that post-dated documents that made everything appear late, that proven led to a 2006 case with former director of the FBI. So I didn't know that was coming up, but leading up to that, I've been trying to report crime acts and confessions from strangers also tied to the Dr. Judd crimes with military families criminally involved with Normandy Heights and with apartments in the area, and with apartments in the area and with Covington Street. That was before I went there, before I lived there. This is intercity through time. That's why they've been stacking database lies and collusion with and as motives recorded and natures recorded and crime methods and acts recorded in cases through time. And then they hid that, they're recorded as pseudo-patriotism natures that are breaching screens. Their motives were also recorded roles with crimes leading up to that. See, these are also people that the former director of the FBI was with his co-defendants in that part of the case that was that was ongoing at the time of my father's death. They're also recorded criminally needing to pretend that I'm talking about crime acts against him. I'm talking about criminals with the same federal criminals recorded with crimes with kids in my age, in my classes, were involved with database crimes, identity theft crime acts and roles. Complete strangers and ones I only know in relationship to them also recorded and confessed using child sex offenders that were brought up to my awareness per the untimely deaths rolls and live progression rolls and rolls with a detective Dillon with military corruption, foreign and domestic, intercity. Also with my area with a guy I don't know the name of, was reportedly his confessed and recorded in various ways criminally involved with databases and with two speech teachers I had also recorded and confessed involved with sex crime acts and roles with the kids with a Mike Pandoff and with a Chris Walters and with Eric Jensen and with other women involved in branch and private tied to them and foreign and with drug clicks and with doctors, foreign and domestic, criminally with the kids, hiding life progressions and with crime roles with areas that were facilitated, needed by them. For a crime method with the kids that is a whole bunch of juxtaposed natures of child abuses and roles, including women interbranch with the principal sex offender because they need to hide their life progressions and roles, pretending people have delusions in reaction to them recorded, pretending things recorded because they were raised before they were in those courts. Those courts were already recorded, stacking illusions, identity theft acts, attaching strangers and kids to fake relationships to others. These are also recorded tied to confessions inside of a Hartford court used for a deposition before the 2006 case with former director of the FBI and his federal criminal co-defendants and his lawyer recorded and involved with crimes with other natures of police and other natures of federal criminals involved through time with tied identity theft crime acts, with tied offensive evidence fabrication, worse than slander. These are identity theft. When we deal with what slavery is, you cannot deny that treatments of even the Jim Crow law was about natures of identity theft that were left uncharged because we are worse than criminally incompetent organized crime countering bodies in relationship to what their uses of concepts like the separation of church and state, why that is important. To obfuscate and to pseudo care for the real reason the right to church and federal government is forced. All truth divorced as yet. Not one. So return, religion, train. Who lift that train? That you lifts alone as tribes.